Welcome back to Coastal Living. Now, did you know that drowsy driving causes more than 100,000 crashes every year, with more than 40% of drivers admitting to falling asleep at the wheel at least once? Joining us today from New York is sleep expert Dr. Janet Kennedy, and we're going to discuss the dangers of drowsy driving. Welcome, Janet, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's such an important issue. I'm really happy to be here talking about it.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Janet, before we get into some tips that you're going to help us overcome the drowsy driving topic, tell us about Journey Safe campaign.
Well, Journey Safe is a campaign by Super 8 by Wyndham Resorts, and what we're doing is we're launching this wake-up call to raise awareness to the issue of drowsy driving. And it's particularly important as we come up on daylight saving time, which is happening March 8th. When we lose an hour of sleep, it creates a few more hazards on the road. And March is also Sleep Awareness Month, so it's a perfect time for us to bring this out.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of sleep, how many hours of sleep do you think we should typically get per night?
Well, the average adult needs 7 to 8.5 hours of sleep. So there's a range for each person, but you want to be somewhere in there.
Okay, and a lot of us, while we're traveling and we're extremely busy, we are extremely fatigued, and I know I've been somebody that has been behind the wheel, and I never know when I'm drowsy. So what are some telltale signs that you're driving drowsy and we need to pull over?
Well, slowed reaction times are a big indicator, but also what's called microsleep, which is falling asleep unintentionally for a fraction of a second up to 30 seconds, and it can happen very quickly. It's extremely dangerous when you're behind the wheel, and it's a key sign that it's time to pull over.
Okay, and how can we know when something like this is happening, and how can something like this be very dangerous while on the road?
Well, drowsy driving is more dangerous often than drunk driving, particularly because we're going at very high speeds usually when it happens, and that can be particularly lethal. It's really important to be rested going into a long drive, and also to just kind of monitor yourself. If you're yawning a lot, blinking a lot, if you find that you're needing to open the window, those things are indications that it's time to pull over. And fortunately, Super 8 by Wyndham makes it easy. We're everywhere, 1,700 locations across the country, along all major highways, and it's easy to find a spot to get off the road and rest.
Yes, that's really comforting to know that. And how is Super 8 by Wyndham's Journey Safe campaign helping raise awareness for such an important issue?
Well, we have a website full of resources, including a PSA-style video, tips from me, and also a pledge that we'd love for everyone to sign to promise not to drive drowsy and to journey safe. And that's available at super8.com/journeysafe, and we hope you'll take a look.
Yes, absolutely. And how can you encourage our viewers to avoid from doing such a thing, as we are extremely exhausted, like I've mentioned, and to avoid drowsy driving?
Well, it's just important to remember that you want to get there in one piece. You need to journey safe, and when you cut corners, you're not just taking risks on your own behalf, but you're putting other people in danger as well. So we want everyone to take this seriously and journey safe. And you can go to our website and take the pledge.
Okay, wonderful. And one more time, where can we go for more information?
super8.com/journeysafe.
Thank you, Dr. Janet, for your time. We've certainly learned a lot from you today.
Thanks for having me.